where you want it.
Bay 12, please.
Hey guys, this is Josh with another spoiler-free Bay 12 review video. And today we're going to be discussing Fast Ten Your Seatbelts and how bad they screwed up by that not being the tagline. I have seen every single Fast and Furious film since the very first one, either before it actually came out or on the day it came out. And I have to tell you, this one is in the top 3 all time. And I think a big part of that is, one, they nailed the casting with the new characters. We'll get into that in a moment. And 2, they went back to what reinvigorated the franchise, which was Fast and Furious 4 and Fast and Furious 5, if you ask me. If you remember, 5 takes place in Rio de Janeiro. It's the big bank heist scene where they're stealing the entire vault with the is it Challengers or Chargers? I don't remember. Make sure that you watch that movie all the way through before you go and see this one, because it does matter. And spoiler free, this one starts right then. So watch Fast and Furious 5 before you go and see 10. I will tell you, the best part of this movie, in my opinion, was Jason Momoa. He absolutely crushed it. They let him be his goofy, silly self, but he also had this really sinister, almost Joker-esque side of him, where he's laughing and then he does something that's a little crazy, and I was there for it. I really enjoyed it. The other really great part of this is they let John Cena be John Cena. He was basically playing either himself or almost Peacemaker in this film, instead of the, you know, super grumpy version that we got in the previous movie. Man, I can never remember this dude's name. Reacher. I can never remember his name. Alan Richman or something like that. He's actually pretty enjoyable, and I haven't seen Reacher, but this is the first time that I've seen that dude in a movie, in any kind of on-screen role, where he actually had my respect. He matters in the film. From the second that he shows up on film to the very end of the movie. So he does make a big difference in the movie, and I'm pretty sure he'll be in the next 2. Speaking of which, when this one came out, we were told by production, hey, we're only doing 11. The last film is basically going to be Fast X Part 1 and Part 2, and that's going to be it. We're going to be done with the franchise. And as much as I love this franchise, I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to Vin Diesel moving on to doing his old man Riddick type thing that he's been talking about for years. But now, at the end of this movie, which does end on a pretty serious cliffhanger, no spoilers though, now we know this is actually going to be Fast X Part 1, then there's going to be Part 2 and Part 3, and who knows, they're probably going to keep going forever. You know, they haven't been in a submarine yet. Actually, yeah, they have. I guess that was in 8? I don't remember. There's like 70 of these movies by now. Brie Larson did a really good job. She plays Mr. Nobody's daughter, and when they introduce her, they make a little joke and say, oh, look, it's little Miss Nobody. But she ends up being a pretty important part of the film, and she's actually likable, which is the first time I've liked her in a film, and she's kind of even acting. I really enjoyed her in this film, which was very surprising to me. I expected her to be kind of a throwaway side character, and she just wasn't. Another big part of this movie is the comebacks, the returns of characters that you've seen in the past, bringing the family back together, as it were, and just letting Fast and Furious really be what Fast and Furious is supposed to be, instead of whatever 8 and 9 was, where they had obviously lost their way after Paul Walker had passed. This is kind of a return to form. If you like 7, if you liked 5, if you liked 4, you're gonna love this one. That's really all that I can say that's not gonna be spoilerific. Cypher returns. She plays kind of a... You can't even call her a villain in this one. We did get the scene that we really wanted between Han and Jason Statham's character, Shaw. That was a lot of fun. There's really not much that you can say about this movie without spoiling it, besides the fact that, like, they really screwed up by it not being called Fast 10 Your Seatbelts, because it is a roller coaster from the very first scene. They start hot and they don't slow down. I guess the only time that they slow down to take a breath is where they have the character building moments, mostly with Vin Diesel just being kind of solemn and quiet over something that happened. And other than that, man, it's just go, go, go the entire film. And if they're going to do this whole trilogy like that, with bringing the families back together, getting to see the characters that you really want to see, and even characters that you thought were dead possibly coming back, this trilogy is going to be the best part of the Fast saga. That's really it, guys. Make sure that you stay tuned for the mid-credit scene or post-credit scene, the stinger, whatever you want to call it. That's also a lot of fun. It's brief. There is only one, so you don't have to stay all the way through the credits unless you absolutely want to. I really enjoyed it, and I'm kind of a Fast snob. You know, some of these last couple have sucked. The last one that was really great was 7, and this one is as good, just not as heartfelt. Because, you know, you can't recreate the end of 7. But they did a really good job with this one, guys. And I loved it. There's not a lot that I think that they could have done better. They really kind of slowed down on the fast physics and the superhero aspect of it that we were getting in Hobbs and Shaw that was quite ridiculous, if you ask me. They tried to get back to their roots with the racing. They tried to get back to the roots with the heist stuff. I just really enjoyed it. Stay tuned next time. I know coming up soon, guys, we're going to have a spoiler-free review of The Flash, and I'm really looking forward to that one. I really don't like Ezra Miller, though, so we'll see what happens. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Love you.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.